1 second. As we wait here on the Mirage Pod, I want you guys to understand those 3 words. The has 3 letters. Mirage, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, has 6 letters. Pod, another 3. 363. Okay, so welcome to the Mirage Pod. It's like, no, what are we doing? Everybody's gonna be like, "Hey, can you make my background like that?" You're gonna be like, "You
And
got
then
to
I'll be like, can I pay you as a director to do this for my podcast?
Okay, so
Did you even notice your new name yet? Huh?
Loser. Oh, can I change your name? Can you hear me? You can hear me well? No, I can go louder. You need me? Need me to go a little louder? Is that okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me or no? Okay. You want my hair up or hair down? Hair up or hair down? Now, I'll keep it up for the first half and then bring it down later. Okay, so
I might reach through the screen and
pointless.
smack him in the face. It might
Go ahead.
happen.
Here.
No, are we not ready? Are you not ready?
What are you talking about? I'm here on the Mirage Pod, baby. I'm ready when you're ready.
Thank you to anybody that is here to watch as I interview Kahlief, aka Light the Entertainer. That Instagram handle was just changed recently because we realized, or you realized, that you are so much more than just, what was it? It was just light eyes before? What was it?
Yes, that's what it was.
What was
before.
that? It was just light eyes before. You're so much more than just the eyes, right? And I want people to know that like our friendship is surreal, and I'm really blessed just to know you as well as I do, and to also have your support and support you. It's an even exchange, and it's been okay. All right, this is what this interview is gonna be. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
I can't stand you. I'm interviewing you because we talked about this a little bit the other day. You bring so much to the table. You have so much to offer to the world. You have a beautiful 11-year-old son. And in my mind, I want to be there 30 years from now when he goes back and listens to this podcast and hears you tell some stories or explain some things that you guys might not, talk about readily, talk about frequently, or talk about openly. So
Hold on. Time out. Mir, come here.
Let's show the people how beautiful and amazing he is.
Mir, come here real quick. Just come say hi real quick.
Hey.
You say hi real quick and then
Hi.
I love how he stuck around to see that, like, oh, wait, it's Ava. Okay, all right, wait, I gotta go. I gotta dip. There's a lot of depth to you, and you are so multifaceted. You wear 87 different hats. Yes, let's start there. Tell me what this logo is above you. Tell me where that logo has truly come from. And then you can go through all 4 of these sub-logos and tell everybody how you do all 4 of those things.
The logo above me, which is a WMW, stands for Watch Me Work. It's exactly what it sounds like. I want people to watch me work. But it was created. So these logos you see here is everything that I do. I am a videographer, a DJ, a dancer. And that technically was started off as an MC for like poetry.
Looks like a singer, but that's okay.
It does. It started off as like an MC for poetry and like rapper and stuff like that. Then it kind of branched off to an actual MC for like parties and events and clubs and stuff like that. But after I kind of shaped and molded it to myself, I kind of made it more, I gave it more of a broader range. So there are about 20 actual logos for people who play basketball, if you do football, if you're a ballerina, if you work out. So basically it's just, you can wear this logo. You can kind of, sport this logo in whatever, I guess, talent or skill that you do. And you can tell people to watch you work. So yeah, that's kind of what it's all about. You want people to watch you while you do you.
Amen.
Pause.
See, with the pauses. That's the second pause, and we've been here for 10 minutes. Okay. I'm so glad you have this as your background for today's interview. Can you go through each of these 4 logos, the 4 things that you do? Oh, this is going to be so fun. What stories, impactful, inspirational, comical, a story for all 4 of those lanes?
First and foremost,
think about it. You just got to go.
I'm going to go. But before I say, I just want to say, you guys can see how full of herself she is, because she didn't even ask the question and she knew that it was a great question. It was like, oh, this is going to be great. So just want to say my friend Ava is very full of herself.
Or did I just know that your answer was going to be good and that was actually me putting spotlight on you?
I like you see at the Mirage Pod, she knows how to spin everything. This is what you need in a host right here who knows how to take something, flip it, pancake it, toss it. So dancing, a funny story with dancing. Does that have to be funny or interesting or just crazy, embarrassing?
Whatever your brain does.
Cool. So we were dancing and auditioning for America's Best Dance Crew for the fourth time, actually. All the previous three times we made it to the top 40, which is crazy because we were trash. Like we were not good. We were good. Our personality is kind of what sold it, I assume.
Now, I just want to make sure that this flows properly. When you say we don't know who we is, so just shout it out, drop it real quick, drop the peeps.
But shout out to round one was my dance group. I'm pretty sure we'll touch into that when we get
Yes.
into backstory and all that. But it was a dance group I was part of, and we auditioned for America's Best Dance Crew. The first year we got on, we didn't know what was going on. We auditioned, and then we got done, and it was like, we love your energy. You're going to LA. And we was like, oh my God, like we made it. We're going to America's Best Dance Crew. We're about to kill the Jabberwockies. What they don't tell you is that all of that is just for TV. So they select about 40 people out of the thousands who audition. They tell all 40, hey, you're going to LA. And then they give you a contract. And in the contract, it says, make sure you don't tell anybody. Don't broadcast it on social media. At the time, it was MySpace. They're like, don't broadcast it on social media. You haven't officially been selected. So we were selected to the top 40, but we had to go through like background checks and all stuff like that, like all the specificities. I want to say specificities. All the specificities. So we had to go through all that. We did not read the contract. So that first year, we went home and all of our MySpace tags we're going to LA. We made it on America's Best. We completely ignored the contract. We did not read the contract. And we were hyped. We're broadcasting it. We're telling everybody it was such a big deal. At the time, 3 of us were still in high school. We were still seniors.
Oh so my gosh.
At the high school on a loudspeaker. It was like, oh yeah. 2 weeks later, we each got a call like, hey, we just wanted to let you guys know that we didn't select you guys. We can't give you the reason. Not because
you're not talented or anything, because you didn't read the contract.
we can't give you the reason why and blah blah blah. Yo, I've never cried that hard. Like, oh my gosh, I was so ecstatic. And I was just telling everybody, and I'm like, oh, now I gotta tell everybody we're not going. We had to change our freaking name. I forgot. And then we told everybody, it was like, oh yeah, there was some crazy stuff that was going on. Really, we just messed up. We completely messed up. So that is a very embarrassing story. And then we tried out about 3 or 4 times after that, and we made it to that same level every time. And then we realized, like, after that, it had got a really big name for itself, and we didn't have a story. So in the last and final year, we auditioned, which was maybe our 4th or 5th year. We kind of did a whole backstory leading up to it. We told them that we worked out and we practiced in a parking lot, which we did. We practiced in parking lots because one of our members, not going to say their name, Kelly Blaze, aka One Man Party, had broke one of the mirrors at our studios, and they kicked us out, and we were forced to work out and practice in the freaking parking lot. So we had a story this year. Everything was cool. And we still did not make it. And I was really, really upset about that. And to this day, I don't understand why we didn't, except for the fact that we were trash. But yeah. So dancing, sorry. Do you want to interject anything before I move on to the next one? I'll make these way shorter. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to make them shorter. This is so fun. Go.
Okay, cool beans and cold fries. Crap. See, I didn't even know this was here. DJ. So DJ, so many instances just popped into my head, but none of them... No full story is connected. I just see so many pictures.
I have one that popped into my head. If you want me to direct,
why not
a little bit?
Yeah,
why not? Are you sure?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right. I think it's because I loved when you shared this with me. Tell me about who helped you start DJing.
Oh my gosh! Shout out to DJ Nitro. I don't know if y'all know who DJ Nitro is.
I'm sure they do.
See, look. When you get on a podcast, make sure your host does their background. Like they do a background check. You know what I mean? Like, because she knows stuff and she knows how to pull questions out of you. It might be a question sitting here and she corkscrew it and pulls it out of you. So shout out to DJ Nitro. DJ Nitro is hands down one of the most talented people I know. I've always looked up to and respected him. Even when we were battling and he was like trashing members in my group back in the day, I never battled him because I wasn't about to step on the floor and kill that man. I didn't want to embarrass him. I looked up to him. You don't want to embarrass your mentor. Shout out to Nitro. So Nitro, he was also a dancer turned DJ, which essentially was what I was, which is why I looked up to him so much, because he made such an effortless transition. And at the time, I was like nervous about it. I'm like, oh, I don't know how to DJ. But this is crazy. A dancer turned DJ. Like, people are gonna make fun of me. And I'm looking at Nitro, and he's killing it. He's DJing at Shampoo, and he just embraced me with open arms. Like, one time he was DJing at Shampoo in the back room, which is basically the dance room, like that long blue room. Shout out to Shampoo. I wish that club was still existing.
Me too.
He's like, yeah, go, why don't you DJ? And I came through, and he let me DJ. I DJed for like a good 15 minutes. I felt so great DJing. I mean, then we ended up dancing and was in a battle, and we lost. But still, I felt really great for those 15 minutes. He gave me my 15 minutes of fame, and yeah, he took me under his wing, and he didn't like charge me or anything like that. Like, he showed me all the the ins and outs. Like he used to teach me how to scratch and everything like that. So it's things that he told me back then that I still hold on to today.
Yes.
He actually got me started with my music catalog. Like I came over, he told me to bring a hard drive. He gave me all the music, which you don't really see with DJs. DJs do not like sharing their music, which is,
They really
I don't understand why. It's so weird because it's like with me, you can have whatever I have, like whether it's my music, whether it's the video work that I do, like any tips and pointers I can give you, I'll give you, because you're not going to do what I'm going to do with that information.
Right.
Like that's just
Right.
how I feel. Yeah, shout out to DJ Nitro. He definitely got me started on that, and that was pretty dope. And that was a great corkscrew pullout. Thank you so much. So moving on to wherever my hand goes. Crap. Okay, let's go over here. MC. So this actually started in 2009. It's funny because I never really cared about no, actually 2008 is when I started. Like my friend was into rapping, and I was like, you know what? I'm a rap too. Let me get on a track, and I did it. And I remember that rap too. It's kind of crazy, pretty cool. So it started there, but I say 2009 because that's the thing that stands into my head. So you see how I'm just trying to force past all of that. So as she tries to ask a question, and I'm just trying to go past it, and she's not letting me go past it. So I'm gonna just keep trying to go past it. So 2009 is when I wrote like my first poem, and that was something that I did for me. I guess I didn't do it because I did the rap just because my friend was doing it. And the poem, I say 2009 because that came from, it was the first piece of, I guess, writing that I did that came from a true emotional place. The 2008 rapping thing, I just did it just to hop on a track. I was just saying stuff that didn't make any sense. The poem that I did, it was trash. The poem that I did was actually about a female who I was interested in at the time. That's why it's so readily attached in my head. I'm not gonna do it. It's on social media, but it's the one so there's this girl. I'm not about to do it. It's like a minute. No, it's like a minute and a half. We don't have that much time, do we? Do we? We do? Okay, cool. So anyways, no, I'm joking. So, the funny thing is I was interested in her since like 2007.
So you had 2 years of backed up energy.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it was like marinating or anything like that. It wasn't like I was like, oh my God. But for 2 years, I know when it started. It started in 2007, and then it kind of manifested and
is she gonna watch this? Oh my God! If you know who you are and you watch this, that would be so cute. Kahlief liked you for a really long time.
I did. I told her that though. I was very I told her.
Darn.
I told her.
All right. Well, now you're still talking about it 10 years later.
It's 11. Yeah, the poem's called "So There's This Girl," and it was just basically about that girl. So that's kind of started it, and it was so funny because that's when I really realized that I could basically channel my emotions and things that I was feeling, whether good, bad, happy, sad, into my writing, which then kind of branched off and manifested itself into this thing, which is filming right there, that film guy, because then those poems and those raps and those songs turned into movies and shorts and stuff like that. Filming. So this logo is actually kind of embodies everything about filming, behind and in front of the camera. The in front of the camera happened in 2005 when I was in a play called Heritage in Willingboro High School, and it was my first big role, and I had just lost a little bit of weight before this thing happened, and I was the main character with two of the coolest people. Shout out to Mara Wees, who hosts almost everything in the tri-state area, and Terrell Baker, who was on The Wire like for maybe like a season or two, and I was on the stage with these two cool kids, and here I am. I was in all like the freaking AP classes, and I was just the last person that would have been up there playing a thug with these other two cool, popular people. And the very first show, I got on stage and I went to do, and it was my line, and I was like, yeah, so hold on. And everybody was just staring. And then Mar said his next line, which actually saved me and got me going into it. And after that night, I really got into acting, which sounds so backwards because usually that might scare somebody, but I'm so used to being, in a non-conceited way, I'm so used to being, at the time, I was so used to being good at everything that I did, which was basically all academic, like math, science, schoolwork, all that just came easy to the point where it's like I didn't do a lot of homework because it was like I was just so bored. So here was something that I failed at and I hated it, like with a passion. Like I legit hated it. And yeah, so I was like, I'm never going to do that again. Like, I'm never going to be on stage and freeze up and mess up like that again. And now, to this day, I've been pretty consistently okay at not messing up.
To this day, you've been working ridiculously hard. Literally working yourself into the ground in all these lanes. So to this day, super random, like correlated question, but it's a little bit of a tangent. What is your memorization process when it does come to lines now?
Luckily, I'm a see it and got it kind of person, which it's really weird. So before I started writing my own stuff, because when I was writing my own stuff, I already knew what I was supposed to say because I wrote it. So, but before that, because I guess the schoolwork kind of played into this, because when I was used to read in school, I used to kind of retain information quite easily. So when it came to like the like scripts and stuff like that, once I read it the first time, I would get the story. So for me, I'll read the first time and understand the story. Because if I understand the story and I understand the character, it makes what they're going to say next makes so much more sense, and it makes it a lot easier. So even if I didn't know the line exactly, I'm like, well, if I was this character and if I was the writer of this play, I would say this. So that kind of helped too. So it does help being behind the camera, writing, and being behind the camera and writing helps with the acting because I can see it from all aspects. It also has its bittersweet moments because then sometimes I'm acting and I'm like, I have the director hat on while I'm acting and I'm like, nah, you shouldn't do this. And I'm not actually embracing the character at the time. It is in my mind sucks a lot.
It does not suck. It does the opposite of sucks. You just gotta figure out how to navigate all this ridiculous talent and intelligence. Because that's all I hear right now. You literally have too much of it in there, and you're trying to figure out what to do with all of it.
That is true, and I don't know how to just like Play-Doh it. You know what I mean? Like if I could just reach into my head and like mold the Play-Doh into where, so it's like, all right, 4:00, you got to be in director mode. It's like, and then I mold a Play-Doh into a videographer, and then like you got to be a dancer. So yeah, so on and so forth. Yeah. Wow, I'm thinking about stories. You got me thinking about stuff, and really just, I'm telling y'all, the Mirage Pod, they really bring it out of you. I'm sorry, go ahead, continue.
Okay. Dream.
I got her stumped, y'all. She don't even have a question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You do not have me stumped. I had this question 5 minutes ago. For the record.
Oh, 5 minutes ago. The Mirage Pod. Go ahead.
Dude, I think my laugh is so ugly, but you keep being funny. So now on my internationally known like podcast is me ugly laughing. I can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now people can see what I have to deal with. Okay, continue. Did you say I'm at to mute the mic? I'm sorry. Can you please ask your question? The people need to know what I need to know from you so I can tell them.
Your dream co-star.
Are we talking about for movies or for songs? Like, what are we talking about here? Dancing?
Dream
like
co-star in a film. Filming. You were just
dream
casted.
co-star in a film.
You were casted for a movie. And they're like, yeah, we can't give any details yet, but this is the casting process. We would definitely like you to play this role. We're going to release a list in about 3 weeks of all the final names and your co-stars. And that 3 weeks goes by, and you see that name directly below yours. And you know that you're going to work on this film alongside this person. What name do you see and you start crying uncontrollably?
Crying? I don't know about crying.
Okay, maybe not crying.
So look, y'all get to see some behind the scenes stuff real quick. So I am laughing because the person who I'm thinking of, who I already thought of when she first asked the question, and then before she went into this long, beautiful explanation. You see this? Look, you get to see the background of all this, about how this really goes down. So this is the person who I was thinking of. And I'm laughing because this is a person who she loved dearly. As you see her wipe away her tears.
I'm gonna start crying uncontrollably.
She loved, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so before I'm gonna get into why.
Just look at his face. Move your head. Move, damn it. Thank you. Okay, I just need a couple more seconds. He's just aging so gracefully. Look at the
moment of silence for her Will Smith adulation. Hold on, go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, while she grabs a towel and gets herself together, we will move on. So, I'm laughing.
I wish that I had a towel just now.
It's funny. Just not to leave a tangent, but it's funny because the owner and this lovely lady of the Mirage Pod, we have been friends for a very long time, so we know a lot about each other. So this podcast is going in a really cool direction, and I didn't just pick this because of her. I really do. To answer the question, not even so much his acting. I enjoy his personality and his growth and his story. A lot of people are just getting on to Will Smith because of Instagram, but y'all don't understand. Like he's come a long way. Like y'all know him as like, oh, he went from rapping to acting, but he struggled on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air like the first season and a half. And Uncle Phil, I forgot his real name. God rest his soul. What's his name? You know his name, right?
James
Avery. And James Avery.
See, that's why we friends. That's why.
Yeah,
That's
see,
why we
whoa,
friends. You know what I'm
that's it.
saying?
What side you on? You over there? Okay, you over there. Yeah, and James Avery helped him. It's a story. He actually told a story about how he helped him on set and taught him how to basically listen and to be in the moment. And that's a big deal with me when it comes to acting, because that's something that I actually struggled with when I first started acting, because when I was doing skits, I wasn't really acting. I was just basically going off of talent. I didn't really have any skill in acting. And it wasn't until an acting teacher, he's like, "You're not acting." He was like, "You're just performing." And then that hit my soul, because I'm like, seriously? Like, performing? Now looking back, I understand, because acting is really living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. And I wasn't doing that. And I can see his growth.
Can you repeat that, please, sir?
Acting is living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. For instance, Mr. Genie back here was under the imaginary circumstance that he was a genie, but he showed that he was really a genie by living truthfully in that moment. So like I said, just seeing his growth and his range, it was it's dope. And then now seeing the more in-depth side of his personality, like that's really, I can just imagine being on set with him. So not even so much being next to him on camera, but being in the same room as him. Like, you know what I mean? Just that energy. And he's
behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes. He just seems so knowledgeable. And another quote that I go by is from him. Talent is something you're born with, and skill is something that you work on. After I heard that from the teacher, and I knew that Will Smith said it, I started like kind of really thinking about that. And I'm like, I do have a lot of talent. Like, I'm very talented in a lot of aspects, but I'm not skilled in almost anything. And I hit this realization probably about 5 years ago. So within the past 5 years, I really was taking my time and becoming skilled in everything that I do.
After hearing that quote and having it impact you the way that it did, what have you actively worked on in an effort to say, this is not just a talent, now this is skill because of how I've worked on it and focused on it?
Acting. I first went to the acting school once I hit, like, I was very viral, I guess. One of my videos was at like 14 million. And I was like, you know what? I gotta start doing some stuff with this. I can't just be making Instagram videos for the rest of my life. And I went to school, and then that's when the first day I was up there and I was, doing the scene that we were supposed to do. And he said, that's when he told me, he was like, you're relying on your talent, and that can get people far sometimes, but it doesn't always work. And I got done. I was like, oh, I killed that in my mind. I'm like, I did great, so on and so forth. And when he said that, it killed me. And I already deal with, I guess, a lack of confidence. So for me to have confidence in that moment, to feel like, okay, I did great. And then for him to shoot me down when I actually had confidence, that killed me. And I walked out, and shout out to Nick Coletta. He was a fellow student and a comedian. He was a comedian, he does stand-up comedy, and he was a fellow student at the time. I had left, and I was walking down the steps, and I was going to my car, and he walked up behind me. He was like, yo, don't get down on yourself. It was so random. So I'm like, how did he even know that? So now I felt bad. I'm like, everybody must have saw. And he's like, don't get down on yourself. You're fine. Like, just take the criticism and learn from it. I respect him for doing that, because that's something that I actually repeated to my son, because he does everything up here. He does all of that as well. And it's been times where if I'm talking to him and criticizing or critiquing him, not criticizing, and I'm critiquing him, he gets down on himself. So it's like, it's so funny that I'm reiterating words from someone else to him that kind of resonated and stayed in me. And he was older too. He might've been like 50, 60. So when it came from him, I'm like, okay, you know what you're talking about. So, and now I use that knowledge and I kind of instill it into him, and he's growing and maturing into that. Shout out to Mir, when you watch this, like, you did a really good job with your accepting criticism. But yeah, so that was probably one of the things that I really channeled and turned into a skill. And I don't even feel like I'm great at acting or that skilled, but I can say that I've gotten better. So yeah.
Wonderful segue to parenthood. I'm glad you just brought Mir into that.
Oh man.
So the conversation thus far has been, in my perspective and the way that I want to run this podcast, that to me was surface level stuff, because we've only talked about things that everybody around you can see easily and readily. Oh, that's Kahlief. He was the one that was the dancer. He was the one that started DJing at Shampoo. He was the one that was doing the poetry. And I remember his poetry was a music video. Yeah, it was mad cool. These are things on the surface that anybody can just look at you or look at your social media and see. Let's go underneath. Let's get into parenthood. But I want to rewind. I want to go pretty deep. What have each of your parents instilled in you? What do you remember them imparting onto you? And does any of it stay with you to this day?
My mother.
I'm sorry, you're what? I'm sorry.
My mother with a V. what I'm saying? My mother or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my mother or whatever, Tanya Jones, you know what I'm saying? She like she straight up raised me to be the boy that I am today. And
The
I
bull.
appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? The boy, like her and my granny, you know what I'm saying? Juanita, like shout out to Juanita. Yo, I see you. You know what I'm saying? Like the Father's Day gift you got me was crazy. Like I ain't even scratched them lottery tickets yet, but if I hit, I'm throwing you some bread. You heard? So yeah, shout out to my mother or whatever. She instilled love and kindness, which sounds so basic and surgical, but it's not. You don't see that a lot in this day and age. And I have a genuine compassion just for others to a fault, actually. Like I may care about other people way too much. Like I put people before I do. I mean, before I put myself. Like for instance, like maybe like 14 minutes ago. So you see her because she understands. And like 14 minutes ago, she said like you work a lot, you work hard, and that's why she's and because like I will put someone else's project before my own. And not even for financial reasons, just because I genuinely want to help and finish something else for somebody else, and I will put off. And then once I'm done with that, I like won't even be in the mood to do the stuff that I need to do for myself. Well, on the positive side, in the world that we live in today, there's a lack of love and compassion and just genuineness. People are always out to get something. Knowing how to care for people. Like I learned that from her. She cared for me so deeply, and she always taught me how to be kind to people, even when I don't want to be. And it's so weird. There'll be times where I do not want to be kind, and I'm just like, what would your mother do? So it's like, all right, I'm gonna just go ahead and handle the situation accordingly. I guess you would throw patience into there too from my mom. My father wasn't really around, but that was a lesson in itself because he taught me what not to do when it comes to my young boy, my son. So even when people aren't around or they aren't doing things that kind of directly or purposely affects you, you can still learn something from it. So him not being around kind of taught me what not to do, like because I saw how hard it was for my mom raising a son. And then even when she married and had a stepdad, I still didn't vibe well with him or just other men in general. Like I didn't know how to be a man because no one ever taught me how to be a man. I was like super spoiled at one point. I was in the house playing a game all day. No one taught me how to go outside and throw a football. Like it's to this day, like I can catch. I'm nice at football, at receiving, and even running back, but I cannot throw a football for nothing. And that's something that's so basic, and it's something I'm teaching him how to throw a football. So I learned sports just from being outside. And after I finally learned to go outside, well, as he started kicking me out the house, like get off that game, and then I just learned from other people how to play sports. And I remember people like, "Oh, your dad never taught you how to throw," and I'm like, "No, that's what I would have learned. I learned how to be an available dad." Because I don't want to say great dad, because I feel like I'm still working at being a dad, but I'm very available for him. How to be an available dad, and my mom just taught me love and kindness and compassion.
I would like to take this opportunity to magnify something incredible that you just did. Everything you just said was a testament to how caring you truly are. So if anybody heard you earlier say you care about other people more than yourself and they didn't believe you, you just proved it by taking your dad not being there and still making it about your mom, knowing that it was a direct scenario and influence on you as a son. The first thing you said was, I saw how hard that was for my mom to raise me. Hold on. Sorry.
I need to shed one too because your connection game, I'm just saying, the Mirage Pod, it's just so great. Anybody who ever comes onto the Mirage Pod. Oh, yeah, no, you might as well. Shout out to the Mirage Pod. The Mirage Pod. You are now tuned into the Mirage Pod with your host, Ava Michelle. I'm sorry. There was mad clippage. I was using the other mic and I didn't realize that this mic is way better. I'm gonna just stick with the Mirage Pod. I'll stay at that voice. Sorry, go ahead, continue.
I needed to magnify that because it was beautiful.
That was dope.
And you did it without thinking. It was lovely.
That was a great connection.
So now let's connect. Your parents and how they influenced you. How you feel about being a parent and influencing your little human being over there, your young bull.
I am struggling dearly. I am
Wait. I have to repeat the question.
I
have to repeat the question. Do you know why?
Why?
I'm over here like, what looks different? Why does it... I had put my glasses on because I couldn't see all the glass. Could you imagine it just cut and I just magically have glasses?
Wait a minute. Where do glasses come from? Go ahead.
After explaining how you came to be as amazing as you are as a young man. Young man, okay.
Yeah, young man. I play that's a good time to, as an amazing young man, it's a good time to let these down. Continue your question. Ava Michelle of the Mirage Pod. Go ahead. You can talk. I can hear you. I'm sorry. Continue.
So this is Mir. Amazing Mir.
Yes.
He is a wonderful kid through and through. So after you explained a little bit about how each of your parents have influenced you, tell me about parenthood from your perspective and how you hope to be influencing Mir.
Parenthood from my perspective is extremely hard, and I feel like no one should be a parent because parenting is it's hard. I feel like when you become a parent, you realize how hard things get because you're a parent, and parenting is hard. So to anyone out there thinking of making a quarantine baby, don't do it because parenting is hard. That's all I got.
You done? Are you done?
Parenting is, you know what parenting, what's the part of parenting? This right here. This is the best part of parenting. Mir, take Oreo out for a walk. Real simple, real easy, you know? That's the best part, honestly. You know, hey, get the remote. Hey, hand my phone. Hey, run my shower. It's just, that right there, hands down, is the glorified glory of being a parent. So yeah, it has been a little hard. As she stated earlier, I am a single dad. I don't like saying that because he has so much. I have so much help raising him between my mother, my sister, and granny. He has three very important women in his life, and it is hard because he spends most of his time with me, so I can't turn off being a man, I guess. And everyone, kids, adults, like we all need both sides. Like no matter what people say, like, oh, like I can say my mom raised me perfectly well, but I didn't really walk and learn how to be a man until I was 23. And that sounds so bad, but it's true. Like I didn't learn what it was to be a man until I turned 23 because as well as she did raising me, she couldn't teach me, how to be a man. And luckily I did learn that kindness and compassion and love from her, and I'm able to instill that into my son. But at the same time, it's nothing like a mother's love. So he doesn't have that motherly relationship because there's only so much motherly things, I guess, that I can do because a mom might handle situations a little differently, where he may need that hug and that kiss. I can admit maybe sometimes I'm like, it's okay, like suck it up, like you'll be fine. But sometimes he needs that hug, and I'm learning. That's one thing I'm learning on the go. When you become a parent, a first-time parent, you're learning on the go. So I'm also learning how to take my compassion that I so easily spread into the world and give that to him in moments where I feel as though he needs it. I don't want to be the dad that's like, oh no, don't cry. Like you're not supposed to cry. We got into a little conversation the other day, and I told him, I was like, yo, let it out. Like he was upset about something. I'm like, yo, go cry. Go punch the pillow on the couch. Like let that out, because I don't want you holding on to it, because I know what it's like to hold on to it. And it took me a couple years to get to that, because when he was like 4, maybe 3, 4, 5, he's 11 now, 3, 4, 5, 6, I was that, don't cry, you're a man, men don't cry. And I had to learn, like, that's something that I was internalizing, and I had to learn to let myself cry, because there were moments that stuff was sort of building up and on the edge of exploding. And I would channel it through my writing and my acting, and that's when I got to see, like, I'm dealing with a lot. So I had to learn that, like, like I said, it's okay to cry, and I'm telling him that now. So that's one big thing that I have been dealing with, that I've been like learning and growing with. Social media sees the two of us, and it's like, oh, they're best tandem ever, which we are. Not to toot my own horn, but
I'll let you toot that one. Yes.
We are, but we go through stuff just like any other family does. So what we do now is every once a week we have a talk, and we let everything out throughout the week that may have bugged one of us, or something that we feel as though we can do better as a child and as a father. And so he's become way more open, which I respect, and it's actually brought us closer together. So like I said, I am learning as we go, and I'm learning new tips and tricks and parenting things and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say it's a struggle, but it's a happy struggle, if that makes any sense, because I love what he's teaching me, and that's not something that I can just get out in the world. Like, I've learned a lot from this little kid, and I hope he keeps teaching me stuff. So thanks, Mir. When you watch this, you're great.
You do not have a habit of patting yourself on the back and giving yourself credit. You work hard and you consistently feel like there's always something to achieve, something you have to do next. So, on behalf of everybody that's going to watch this interview and get to this part of the interview, you are giving us so much faith in humanity. And in comparison to other dads that don't have it figured out, that don't want to figure it out, that are not present, and even if they are, they're not emotionally or psychologically present, you are checking all of those things off the list. And like I said to you, last week or so, like from the outside looking in, you're doing it effortlessly. So I know you're saying that it is complex and it's not always easy, but the bottom line is that you really are doing a great job, and you're putting another young man out into this world that is going to have it figured out because of how hard you're working and everything you're doing as a dad. So I know that everybody that watches this is going to touch and agree with that. Amen. One more question about Mir. I love it. You guys are the best tandem ever. As the pictures come up, tell me the first thing that pops into your head about them.
All right.
It could be a background story, something that happened behind the scenes.
I'm going to close my eyes so that way I can't see you pick the picture.
Which one I'm picking? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Are they closed
so you let me know
now?
Yes.
Picture or video? Okay.
Okay. Ha! This was one of his first photo shoots.
I see. How old was he here?
He was like 5 or 6. This day right here was the day Shad and I found out that this young man was going places.
You did not tell him to pose like that, did you?
No. All we said, all right, give us something sexy, throw some stank on it. This is the behind the scenes. Put some cool, some sexy on it. So, as you can see, all I said was put some sexy on it.
How did he know how to do that at 7 years old?
No clue. All I said, you saw what I said, put some cool, put some sexy on it, and he put some cool and put some sexy on it.
I can't handle it. Here we go.
Okay. Hey, all we did was we threw on some music and we said, hey, dance. And we caught that. That's an in-action capture right there. As you can see, if you watch the video one more time, boom, bow, right there. So shout out to Dark Angel Images, Rashad. He caught an amazing picture. That was actually the same
As
day.
He always does.
Yes, he does. That was the same day. Yeah, actually, this was his first photo shoot. Yeah, this was. So he did
that picture was posted in 2017, but now I see that this particular picture was posted in 2016. So it must have been, like a shoot that you were able to pick from. Mm-hmm.
Got it. Yeah, so it was pretty. So that means he was about, I was right. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, he was like 6.
Oh my gosh.
But all right, go ahead. I'll look down again. This is fun. This is fun. The Mirage Bot.
Oh my goodness. All right, we'll do one more. Third time's the charm. And I just had the idea, ladies and gentlemen. I will probably pull up the same photos for Mir when he does his interview.
Ooh,
and see what he has to say about each of them.
That was his 9th birthday. Funny that you pick it up because this was his first birthday that I had missed. Like his first birthday that I was actually able to be at, I guess, and I missed it because I was in LA working. I was in LA filming, and it's so funny because I said, hey, before I even agreed to it, I was like, yeah, I got to go to LA to film, but it's during your birthday, so I might not go. And he said, he said, you got to go to LA? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you should go. You really should go because then you can get us a house and we can move out there. And I was like, you're not going to be upset? And he was like, no, that's a really big deal. So it was so funny just seeing how it affected him. You know what I mean? He wasn't going to be upset about it, which was really weird. So that shoot, Shad went and picked him up because at this time he had done countless little films with us and I trusted Shad. So I was like, yo, can you pick him up and take him? He's already dressed and everything, and take him to the park. And he picked him up, took him to the park. Shout out to Shad again. This was the time where he really discovered he wanted to play basketball. And it was the first photo shoot that I missed of his, and I was really upset about it. But hearing how excited he was, that kind of that made me happy. So,
and the fact that he reassured you that he was perfectly fine with you taking that trip to LA.
Exactly.
Amazing. Thank you, Kahlief.
All right, he got too much shine.
Who's got too much shine?
That little kid.
You are working with a very inspirational and supportive team right now. You have been doing a lot lately, especially with the pandemic taking place. You've had more time than you usually would. And we've already talked about Shad multiple times. But tell me about, we talked about your parents, we talked about your sister, your grandmother. Tell me about the friends or the creative influences that you have in your life that have also impacted you positively.
Shout out to Shad and A. I have a lot of friends. Maybe a few, a couple. Not that many. A couple of queens.
I was like, as you said it, I was like, what?
I don't know. Anyway, so.
Real friends. Who are do you have a lot of real friends?
Yeah. Shout out to Jeff. Jeff is, people don't know Jeff. But Jeff has been my friend since second grade. His name on my phone is second grade. He can like
Oh,
he's been on vacations with us. He's been to birthday. Shout out to Jeff. So I just want to give him a shout out because people don't know him because he's not a part of the life that I'm a part of.
yes.
But he's a part of my life, if that makes any sense. So, Jeff aside, yeah, Shad and A are two extremely skilled individuals. I met them through Kelly Blaze, who
Trash.
is also
It's like, not just kidding, just kidding.
that was so perfect. That was so perfect. Who is also
Sorry, Craig. Sorry,
an
he got to me.
individual, and he is trash. That's how I met them through him, and I met them 7 years ago. We have grown into not just friends but business partners, and we do a lot of work together. And the two of them inspire me exponentially. Seeing their growth and their skill makes me constantly feel as though I have to level up. I feel like once you surround yourself with people like that, like you're always going to be like alert. You're always going to you're constantly bettering and improving yourself. Shad and I just did a party this past Saturday. I was DJing and he was filming. And first of all, when all three of us are together in an event, it's such an effortless flow. If you ask anybody who's worked with us, like we blend so well and we accommodate each other so perfectly. It's so weird. So we did an event Saturday where I was DJing, he was filming, and it was times where he was taking pictures and I would just play a song and grab the camera and go film what he was doing and catch some stuff that he might have missed because he had the camera. And it's funny because he knew like he knew that I wasn't gonna miss that moment. So I say all that to say, like we like I said, we blend very well. And I like to think that we make each other better. I can't speak for them. I can definitely speak for myself. So I think that we make each other better, but they definitely make me better. And they speak so much life and positivity into me by calling me trash. And it's just our way of sort of uplifting each other. And it's funny because when I was doing a song at the studio. A is an amazing sound engineer and a producer as well. I was doing a song at the studio and A stopped it and he was like, "Trash, do it again, trash, yo, that's trash." And it was a lady, she was a lady. I mean, but it was a lady there, and she was like, "Oh my God, why are you saying that to him?" And it was like, what? Like she was so like worried about me, and then I'm in there like, crap, that was trash, run it back. And then like, so it's like we don't get affected by that. Even when I talk to my son, like everybody who sees me talk about my son on social media, y'all know I've called this man trash countless times. Like countless times, and he's called me trash. So he blends in with us. But no, yeah, I give a moment of respect and just appreciation to them too, because they definitely Shad helped me become a better editor because it was things that I really didn't know, and he showed me a few things, and he's actually schooling me on some photography too, just so we can like pretty much expand our business. I've learned a lot about music from A, and as a DJ, it's helped. Like I know counts and things like that from dancing, but understanding the actual structure and the makeup of like an actual beat, I've learned just from watching him. And he's also really into astronomy, so he speaks from a different aspect. Like he'll see something and he's able to attribute it to something that has to do with astrology, and it makes so much sense. Yeah. And I'm like,
wait, oh, wow. I was literally just about to say, isn't he an Aries too?
Yes, he's an Aries. Okay, Shad is an Aries.
So humor me. What is it like having the three friends closest to you? I don't know when Jeff's birthday is, but right now I can speak for myself.
Cancer. Jeff's a Leo.
So more fire signs. So I can speak for myself, and I can speak because I know Shad and A as just kind of colleagues and associates. What do you have to say about the fact that three of the people closest to you in a creative realm are all Aries? Sorry, this question's for me. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, yeah. What did you just throw a you question in there?
I just had to ask that for myself. Felt good.
What's it like having three?
Do you think there's a reason why? How do you, like, when you put the three of us out and you're just like, okay, I'm surrounded by these three people specifically. They each happen to be Aries. Are there characteristics that the three of us share? Are there characteristics about the three of us that are like your favorite thing that you're our friends because of? You know?
I really don't know how you fit into there, but with them, it's like, no.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks. Bye.
Because for y'all that don't know, she's not just like a full Aries. There's a little Taurus mixed in there too. It's like
Just a little bit.
it's just a little bit. It's dabbled in there. You know what I'm saying? Oh crap! Shout out to Jordan too. He's one of my biggest inspirations. Not from the creative aspect, but he speaks life into me, and I don't have that too much. Like his level of encouragement and support and just belief in me, I swear it outweighs the belief in myself. And it's times where I'm like, dang, nigga, are you me or am I me? Because you believe in me more than I believe in me. So shout out to him.
That's
but he's a
beautiful.
Capricorn. So the fact that that is crazy. I did download CoStar, and us three are friends, so we get to see how each other is feeling at different times, which is dope. Shout out to A for telling me that. Characteristics wise, one thing that stands out, all three of you. Hold on real quick.
I thought you were gonna be like, are ugly. Like
no, I mean,
I'm ready for whatever insult you're about to let fly.
Wow, that's crazy. You know what's crazy? Y'all, you know what's crazy? I joke a lot. I'm very sarcastic. In this moment, I was about to give Ava praise because I was about to say, I already spoke to you guys about Shad and A. And I was going to say that all three of you are extremely talented and creative. And then I was about to give a moment to your host, Miss Ava Michelle, because she is trash and also very, very, very talented. To the point where she had me questioning whether I was a good dancer at one point. And I'll never forget, she came to...
We're not going to do this.
She came to LA Fitness to do a Mean 15 with us. Shout out to Kelly Blaze, trash, for messing up the Mean 15.
Shout out to Curtis Pearson, trash. It's like, no.
He's trash too. It was her, Tricks, and Kelly Blaze. I'm gonna give him the stage names. And she came in there. She had the hair flowing and this little gray little cut off shirt.
We do not have to do this.
Black pants and like something wrapped around her. And I'm like, oh crap. I was like, okay, she came in here to work. So we're doing the dance, and the whole time in the mirror, I'm watching her. Not like that. It's because Kurt and Craig, well, Tricks and Kelly Blaze, I've danced with for years. I've always known that Ava was a great dancer. But now I'm like dancing with her, and I'm watching her, and I'm like, yo, I'm the weak link out of us four. And if you go watch the video,
oh my gosh, no, you are not
No, if you watch this video, I'm definitely the weak link. And I watched her, and that day, I swear to God,
what if I was like, let's go watch it now?
No, if you had it pulled up, that would be crazy. I want you to not watch. Don't even worry about these two people right here. Just watch us two and watch how she killed me. Just watch it.
No, you are also a talented dancer. I can't believe you right now.
Look at this. Look at this. Sharp. You see that jump? Look at the level she had on her ankle.
We're doing the same thing.
God, yo. Look how she hit everything. Her hair is full. Look, she like she's from the ring. Yo, she looked like she's from the ring. Her hair went in her face. She didn't even stop to move it. I'm telling y'all, this woman is freaking amazing. Killed me in this joint. I had a backwards freaking shirt on. My shirt was backwards. I thought it was cool because I was trying to market myself. Look like an idiot. And she over here with the ring hair just Look at her nay. She got the full extension. My hand is bent at the elbow. Like she's bending down on her knees.
That's
I'm not
just
even
different
low.
Style.
No levels. No, it's just trash, yo. She looks exactly like Trix in the middle who made the dance up. That shows she's way more talented at picking up choreo.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and stop.
Okay, all right, whatever. So like I always looked up to her as a dancer, and she probably don't even know that. Like as a dancer, I really looked up to her. And we went to LA together, and she was battling. Like she was sessioning. She wasn't battling.
Not battling.
She was sessioning. I'm calling it battling. But yeah, she was scared, and she was super nervous. But it was so much the place we were at. I forgot the name of it, but it was a great place because the love in there was just so infectious.
Hollywood.
There you go, bang! It was so infectious, and like people they saw her in the cut just chilling, and then they like everybody kind of like, yo, come on, get in a circle. And she got in a circle. I have the video on my phone still, and she killed it. I'm watching her. I'm like, yo, I would never have hopped into this circle because I'm super trash. And we took classes out there, and I'm taking classes, and I'm like, I am not keeping up with these moves at all. And I'm watching her and I'm like, yo, she's killing this right now. And she's like, oh my gosh, it was so hard. And I just wanted to like slap her. And I'm just like, yo. So I've always thought that she was and is an amazing dancer. And I felt like that was something that she had on me. So, okay, real quick. One problem, which I don't know if it's a problem all the time, but I'm very competitive. Even when it comes to Shad and A, that's how we get a lot of our work done and how our creativity just expands and grows. I'm very competitive. So to the point where I saw her doing better than me. She doesn't know this, but when we went back to the Airbnb, I was purposely practicing the dance. It was the weekend acquainted, and I was purposely practicing this dance because I felt like she was outdoing me, and I was like in the room going in, just quietly.
That's not the reason why you were practicing it. You were practicing it because you liked it. It had nothing to do with me.
See, and that's why you guys are getting some grade A behind the scenes, real emotion. Like this is dead serious. It was to the point like I've always been like that. My friends, actual opponents, I'm just very, very competitive, but that's what drives me to become better. And yeah, no, so I've always respected her. So she gets that moment to shine real quick. But yeah, aside from dancing, she is extremely talented and very creative. And I think, I don't know if that has to do with them being Aries, but it's just the fact that they're also multifaceted when it comes to entertainment, because she's just not a dancer. Although I admire her and feel as though she's always been better than me as a dancer, I respect and admire everything else she does, which is her singing, which is really good. If you didn't know, she's a very good singer. She's now a freaking
I'm cutting
host.
this out. You
She's
don't
a great
have
host.
to do this.
I don't care. First of all, you can't cut this out. This is my freaking interview, and it pertains to my answer to the question. Because as I said, the three people who I'm close with are all Aries, and the one thing they have in common is they're all talented and multifaceted when it comes to entertainment. MC, singer, dancer. Can you draw? I don't know if you could draw or not, but you could write. And I think she knows how to raise plants. That's a freaking talent. So in reference to Shad, Shad's a videographer. Shad's a photographer. Like, Shad can edit. Like, Shad is a freaking builder. He does music. He does film. He does photography. So the three of them do so much. And as you can see, so do I. So I think that is one thing that kind of connects me to all three of them. And I never really put that together until I was sitting here talking to her. So she could not take this part out. But again, I don't know if that has to do with the Aries or just the fact of who I enjoy being around and surrounding myself around. An aspect of something that's like a personality, they're all very strong and strong-willed, and with themselves and with the people around them. And they speak strength into you. In Ava's aspect, it's like, you got this, like, you're great, you can do it, like, love is the world and the world is love. With Shad, it's like, yo, bro, stop acting trash, you better than that. And then with A, it's, yeah, what Shad said. So it's like they all have their own way of like speaking speaking strength, truth, positivity, and growth into you. Jordan falls into that category as well. But yes, that would be a nice.
How come Jordan doesn't get an impersonation?
Well, I gave Jordan his own little special segment, and really the whole impersonation was just for you. I just did Shad and A because I didn't want you to feel bad.
So, thanks, appreciate it. You just did that so I couldn't cut it out. Damn it.
The Mirage Pod.
I love it. Your team, and again, like you said earlier, we've been friends for such a long time. It's been really cool for me to be acquainted with you and watch the team kind of change as well as the team grow, because you've changed, you've grown. It's been so great being friends and being acquainted with you for a longer span of time, because I have seen that much more growth and evolution around you and around the people around you. I know who some of the A1 day ones are, and that was back when we were first friends, and I know who some of the newer friends are that you just met recently, and I think that Shad and A kind of fall into that category. It's been really beautiful to watch your connections with these people evolve as you have evolved. It's been really great.
You think I evolved? I mean, I know my hair has grown, but you think I evolved? It's like, no, go ahead. So what?
My question, I would like to round to a close.
It's over? Wow. You have I would just say, I could say that you don't have a lot of editing to do, but you could just let this.
Yes, I do.
You can let this joint ride.
You guys are going to see the edited final product. I am looking at 2 hours of footage to go through right now. Oh my gosh.
I'm happy. I'm making you work.
You are. Watch me.
I'm going to watch you. I'm going to watch you. Pause. I'm going to watch you.
But I'm not pressuring or like rushing you in any way. My last question is knowing that you were about to do this interview and knowing that plenty of people are going to see it. You pushing 15K on the gram, you know what I'm saying? People are bound to want to check this out. I feel as though you have worked so hard to put yourself on Front Street in that creative way. Your videos, your writing, your editing, your acting, that is always on someone's feed. But never, correct me if I'm wrong, never has there been personal correspondence and information that you've really put out there. Is this your first time doing that?
Yes.
That's beautiful. Okay, what? Sorry. I'm sorry. It makes me want to cry.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So, this is your first opportunity, the first opportunity that you've taken to share deeper information with the people that follow you. With that being said, is there anything that you for sure want to leave everyone with before we wrap up?
Hey there, lonely girl. It's like, nah.
He sings
I
too.
feel like no, I don't. I feel like we got
We
pretty
touched on a
personal.
lot. Was there
Yeah.
anything leading up to the interview that you may have thought about while you were driving to Chipotle, and you were like, "Oh, I want to make sure I talk about that"?
I love Chipotle. No, I purposely did not want to think about this interview because I didn't want anything to come out or seem scripted, and my writer brain tends to come into play on certain moments. So it's like, all right, if she asks this will be the perfect answer, and I didn't want that to happen. So I put this interview to the depths and bowels of my mind and didn't think anything of it. Not because I wasn't looking forward to it, because I mean I was.
Right.
Sort of. So
You weren't even looking. We both did a side eye at each other, dude.
Are you serious? Oh, that's funny. Wow. We are cool.
Gosh.
I really just wanted to see what you brought to the table because I am very excited for what's to come with the Mirage Pod. And I wanted to see how you were going to handle this. I didn't want to alter it or I didn't want to do anything that you didn't have planned, pretty much, because this is your baby and I wanted to see what you were going to do with it. You know, I'm always thinking about stuff. In this moment, I didn't have to think, you know, and you made me just answer questions. So,
oh, that makes me so happy. And just so you know, I also didn't put a lot of like premeditated stuff, energy into this because, again, just because of our friendship, we flow. I was just excited to have this opportunity. Kahlief is the busiest person that I know because of his many talents and because he works as hard as he does and because he's always caring about everybody else before himself. When you put those three things together, you get a person that is constantly like, oh, at 12:48 I gotta go do this for somebody else, but then at 1:06 I gotta go do this for Mir, and then at 3:57 I have to go do this for myself, but I can't do that too long because then at 5:08 I gotta go do this for somebody else. Like, that's your life. And we have managed, I don't know how, to cultivate this friendship in the midst of all of that. Don't know how we did it. So you're very fast paced. You're very hardworking. So the fact that you have sat here with me for 2 hours and allowed me to pick your brain and make sure
it's been 2 hours
that this conversation
2 hours and 2 minutes
and will be able to be published. This is so exciting. And thank you for being excited for me and so thoughtful about, oh my God. What, did you miss an appointment?
No, I just didn't know it's been this long. I'm gonna send you a bill. Continue. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Okay. How much do you charge hourly, by the way?
Oh, for you, I'm gonna give you a discount. You know, $128. That's it. $128 per hour. $256. Bam, you're in there. Don't worry about it. Light work. You out here doing big things. You see that mic? Your mic freaking professional as heck. Yo, real quick, mad people started podcasts during the quarantine and they only did it because of the quarantine. Yo, she's been plotting this for a minute. Like, I don't know if y'all seen her little behind the story thing. Y'all, if y'all haven't, y'all gonna see it. It's real in depth. This is not a quarantine podcast. This is her finally getting the time to expand on a vision that she's had for dumb long. And I'm super proud of her. I just wanted to say that. Go ahead, continue.
You almost made me cry. Had you said
Sorry,
like 3 more sentences, I was going to cry.
I was going to, but I saw it. I knew it. Because right when the baby curl right here start twisting, I'm like, yo, she getting emotional. And that's how I know.
All right, we're done.
That's how I know. What's this button do?
Oh my gosh. Stuff's about to happen because he's playing with buttons.
I like to thank Ava Michelle and the Mirage Pod for having me. I don't know if it's over, but I just felt like, you know, me being here at the Mirage Pod, I had to do that quick little drop and just make sure I said goodbye. And Sierra, if you ever decide to break up with Russell Wilson, I'd love to do a dance with you. That's it.
Thank you so much. You spend so much time doing a million other things. The fact that you spent 2 hours sitting here and speaking to me is so special. I love you to pieces and pieces and pieces, like the ones that broke on my floor not too long ago.
Good. I like that. Way to bring that back.
It was a lot of pieces. And it was a wonderful analogy for how much I care about you and how special I think you are. Thank you so much. Any last words?
Well, I'd like to say I've never felt love. That was a period at the end of that sentence. And no, I'm joking. Shout out to Ava Michelle and the Mirage Pod. I look forward to seeing you grow. I can't wait to see what things you have coming. And yeah, watch me work.
Watch him work. Watch both of us work. Watch everybody work. Thank you, Leafers. I'm about to text you.
Oh my God, I cannot get rid of her. Oh, you still filming? Oh, okay, cool. Can't wait. Phone's right here. I'll text you right back. Shout out to Harry Potter. She just peed on the floor, ladies and gentlemen. What do you have to say for yourself?